Hello and welcome. Welcome to this presentation. This is free. This is for moms who are required to co parent with a narcissist or in a high conflict custody battle with a narcissistic ex. If this is you, you are not alone. I'm a survivor, a mom, a coach, and a strategist. And I talk to moms about codependency issues and breaking trauma bonds and neutralizing and navigating around the narcissist. And what I teach, my background is loving and leaving an alcoholic who I then found out in family court was a narcissist. And there was a 12-year family court battle. I won some, lost some, and got it all back with negotiating with a narcissist successfully. I used a third way. I call it a different way, besides pushing hard in family court and going financially broke on lawyers and legal fees and the stress of family court and the failures of family court. I teach a totally different way. Some moms want to just run away, leave their kids because of the narcissistic abuse, which is post separation abuse. I teach moms to watch out for boundary backlash, and I teach moms to watch out for what I call winners backlash. I encourage moms not to think about winning and losing or beating the narcissist. No, defeat, beat, destroy a narcissist, because that kind of thinking creates or adds to the war. And we don't want to be pit against the other parent. That's what lawyers tend to do. That's how family court is set up. There obviously needs to be a different way. So I've got 6 books for moms, and I'm going to talk about what winner's backlash is, how to avoid it. And it starts with our thinking, because our mindset is everything. Just a full disclaimer, this isn't direct advice. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a professional of the court. So this is my survivor wisdom. You can pause, read this, read the full disclaimer down below. All I'm trying to do is offer something helpful. As a survivor, I say if you're willing and ready to learn and do the work, I'm here to teach, coach, and mentor. And that's what I do for moms in individual sessions. My background is loving and leaving an alcoholic. I have 3 books if you're trying to break free of codependency. And then I have 6 books for moms, starting with co-parenting with a narcissist, 7 self-rules to stay sane. You will need your sanity to be maintained through all the insanity. My goal is to educate and empower and encourage the mom to get the support system in place to be able to endure this and come out smarter and stronger than before. My second book is How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win. And be careful of that win word, because if you feel like a loser or you think you've lost, that can really bring your mindset into a certain place of disempowerment and self abuse. You could be judging yourself harshly. The shoulda, woulda, couldas could be going over in your mind, all kinds of self recrimination and self blame. Been there, done that, wasn't helpful for me. And my other books, like How to Survive a Custody Battle with a Narcissist, have a lot of teachings, tools, tips, and strategies, because if you can name and label the tactic, it has the chance of you being less destabilized, because your awareness is such that, oh, this is an attack. If I get emotional and I get emotionally destabilized, the narcissist typically wins that way. So how do I get the resources and the support to stay standing and mentally sane and emotionally sober? So that you can get in a lot of 12-step programs. I do have this Tame the Narcissist. It's one of my newer books, 10 Keys for Better Co-Parenting to Create Peace and Protection Using Strategy and Skillful Means. That's on Amazon. Support me as a self-published author. My newest is Wisdom for Ending the Co-Parenting War and a Custody Battle with a Narcissist, so you can heal and be able to help your child. That's also on Amazon, because I'm teaching a third way where you don't fight, and you don't run away. You realize you have to coexist. You have to live within what we have for a court system and what professionals are available or affordable. So you may have to just navigate this middle way. So watch out for winners backlash with a narcissist. I have a lot of private groups for moms on Facebook, and Occasionally, a mom will fight in family court and win and think it's the end. So will a narcissist too. Sometimes they think they won and it's the end of the story. But there could be many rounds of court. There can be contempts filed. What a judge gives, he can take away. Circumstances can change. Material change of circumstances can happen every year. There's a lot of things that happen in family court. Narcissists, are often there. If you see court, one of the parties is probably a narcissist because most people can get along, do the honorable thing. But if you see family court battles going on and ending up in a trial, that 1% that actually go to a trial, that means someone can't negotiate, or there's a strong concern for children, and one parent is willing to take all that stress on and try to protect the kids. What I teach mom is that we don't want to start our focus with, I'm going to beat the narcissist or win against the narcissist, because that's the narcissist mindset. They don't want to lose. They love to win, highly competitive. It's important to know the narcissist. And that was a previous video. If you want to go back and just get the basics, don't spend all your time trying to figure out a personality disordered person, because there's just a lot of disorder, but know what they're typically like. So winner's backlash is when a mom thinks she won, only to, get that favorable court order from a judge, full custody or whatever, to find the narcissist filing appeals, filing contempts, reporting them to the IRS. So what we know about narcissists is they don't like to lose. They often come back for revenge and retaliation. They hold the grudges. Their little fragile ego gets bruised, or what they call it, a narcissistic injury. And then you'll see vengeance, and all kinds of retaliatory tactics on a victim or a target of blame. So what I teach moms is to watch out. Don't be that target of blame. Realize that you're in it together. You're both parents, and don't put yourself against it. Don't go toe to toe. Obviously get legal representation, an advocate, and make it come from somebody else, as if there's something you want, the child wants, or because often what we want from a narcissist, a loving, caring mom, wants from a narcissistic father, the father will completely oppose it. So, and that's for control. They want control, or they feel threatened when somebody else has authority or power. So don't get into that power struggle, and watch out for thinking you won it all. So many moms will be like, oh my God, I won and the judge found favor, only to find out a year later they're back in court losing it all. So I teach moms to steer away from that, so that we don't create an enemy with a narcissist. So often we're the enemy to destroy in the narcissist mind, and we don't want to be that. We don't want to be the target of blame. I call it the TOB. We want to make sure that we are just neutral. We're someone that is assisting the child, someone who's also in this family court process. And so if we don't call it a war, and we don't call it battles, and we don't try to win against somebody who's determined to win, even if a narcissist will hurt themselves to hurt others. And that's the most concerning thing. They'll hurt themselves financially to financially drain a mom in a legal battle. So watch out for that winner loser mindset. It's better to find a way to neutralize, to disarm, to de escalate situations, and speak in a different language. And I call that the use of skillful means. And it means we're talking to the person at the level they're at, and we're not triggering a person who's got big traumas and triggers. So a narcissist, I teach, is like a sleeping lion, and you don't want to poke the beast. And I don't teach moms to focus on winning against the narcissist. I talk about neutralizing, creating peace and goodwill, and going first, because we're the only ones who can. They're terrified, and they've controlled situations with lies and bullying and threats and grandiose ideas of themselves, and then life hits, and they're pushing against reality. So if we try to bring the truth to them or wake them up, we can become an enemy. If we've seen their mask drop and we want to expose the narcissist, we can end up the enemy or a threat to their image management, and that's not something we want to do. As loving, caring, protective moms, we want to focus on our child's one and only childhood. We want to enjoy being a mom. Narcissists can take the joy right out of being a mom because you're battling for your child's safety. So we want to aim to stay in the child's life, to not make an enemy out of the narcissist, to let our lawyers be petitioning for rights versus trying to beat or defeat the narcissist. I even have different ideas about leverage. Because a narcissist usually only responds to what's in it for them. So I encourage you to pick up one of my books or read them 1 through 6 so you get an idea of how I went from losing to actually having peace, peace in my world, peace in my child's world. And to use skillful means, it's important to know the narcissist. So if you don't know what they're typically like, or you haven't accepted that your ex is a narcissist, maybe it's time to get a small education on them and just accept, okay, this is a person who doesn't make a great father. And when I try to make him be the father I think a good father should be, or maybe you had a great father, and they keep disappointing you, it's time to stop with those expectations. They're unreasonable. A narcissist is selfish. They're typically lacking the ability for empathy for others. They can, mimic with pity and what looks like false sympathy. They can just look for the person's weakness and know what works on people emotionally. So, they're energetic vampires looking for your fear and pain. And I say, don't feed the narcissist your fear and pain and your angst. But they have a lot of predictable patterns about them. And so I do have a video, Know the Narcissist. If you're a mom in a custody battle, you can watch that for free on my YouTube channel, giving you some of my things. It'll be in my next book in 2026. If you want to read more for free, I have a blog for moms co-parenting with a narcissist. We basically have run into a lot of different subjects, and us moms, we make mistakes. We have expectations. We try to win against the narcissist, but just because the judge gives it to us 1 year doesn't mean the narcissist won't come up with a lie or a character assassination or call false CPS reports or find a way to have us lose our job or our housing because we won against them. So moms who win often get a very rude awakening that it wasn't the win that they hoped for. The narcissist often doesn't go away. There are a few times that they do. Skeletons in their closet, thrown in jail, new supply, really good new supply, like a new woman. So there's times that they do go away, but often they don't, which is why some of us have to learn to coexist and not create more battles, more wars, more problem. But just like we want fairness, a narcissist wants fairness too. And if they think it's been unfair to them, they are chronic complainers and blamers. As you know, toxic blamers, chronic complainers, they may not let it go. And if you win against a narcissist, here's another sad fact, and they can't get to you, sometimes they will take it out on the children in unsupervised visits. So I've always made sure not to tick the narcissist off, and then our child goes to the narcissist because the child will get the narcissist bad mood, and that's so sad. We don't want the narcissist hatred of us to come out on this child. We want the child to not be a reflection of us. There's so many moms are like, yeah, you threw out all the clothes that I bought the child and dress the child completely different. That's him trying not to see us if we are the enemy, and maintain control and to try to eliminate our influence. So if you see stuff like that, just know that winning isn't everything when it comes to narcissism. If you've got a negotiation agreement, if you are able to use skillful means, which can take a year to build goodwill and to start treating the narcissist differently and stepping into our rights for advocacy and representation, and having it all come from lawyers and courts versus we want this and we want that, pushing against our ex. If you can turn the target of blame, you can see more favorable conditions for negotiations. If you're wondering why you can't negotiate with a narcissist, I have videos for that. I wondered why I couldn't negotiate for 12 years. But you got to know the narcissist. They will not negotiate with someone they deem as the absolute enemy. And if we're constantly telling them what they're doing wrong and exposing them and reporting them, it can make us that way in their mind. And it takes a while to turn that. So come over to my blogs. I have lots of free guides. I have paid independent PDFs like Get the Right Lawyer Guide if you don't have time to read a book. But sometimes these books and just highlighting them and knowing you're not alone can make you feel like you can get through this. Children, just like children have been raised by alcoholics or had alcoholic parents, children have been raised by narcissists and have survived. They often need healing. There's ways to put in buffers, boundaries, and firewalls. I have a Navigate Around the Neutral and Neutralize the Narcissist free newsletter and Substack. And I say you can learn, heal, and grow through this. So keep being a great mom. Remember to like and subscribe because all of these videos are free. I have a podcast on Spotify. If you want to listen to some past episodes of my survivor wisdom, it can help ground you so you can maintain your sanity. One of my best tools is the 20 plus wants list. If you are in a court battle, to make your own leverage. And there's 3 key points that you want to hit. It is a power tool. It can help you stay on track. And one of my newer books is So You Love a Narcissist, 11 Keys to Stop Self-Sabotage. So if you are still healing from narcissistic abuse, if you are still breaking trauma bonds, this might be helpful for you. So thanks so much for watching. I have a video course. I'll be making a new video course in 2026 about changing our custody case so that it isn't the battle where we're losing and winning and then winning only to lose to a narcissist retaliation tactics. So we want to be able to sleep at night, know our children are safe. That's a priority. Beating a narcissist, winning against a narcissist can't be a priority when our children are young, vulnerable, or caught in the middle. So we have to put down our ego, our pride, and our sense of what's right and wrong, and handle a lot of unfairness. I have a video about ways to cope with the unfairness. There will be unfairness with an unfair person. So look for some of my free videos like strategies for dealing with a narcissist on my YouTube channel. And thanks so much for watching. Keep learning, healing, and growing. Narcissist.